Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. It is, what day is it? Oh, August 15th, the day before my daughter's birthday, 2019. Oh, man.
Oh, happy birthday, happy birthday.
She'll be 17. She at work. She should be getting off a little, and actually now. And tomorrow she goes to DMV to take her license, take her test for her license.
Oh, that's what's up. Uh-oh.
I'm at the DMV. She about to be riding your van around, Clint. No,
that's what's up.
She good with driving though, so I can't even get mad at her. Happy birthday to my mini-me. Early birthday, a day early, you know. Happy birthday to her.
Yes, yeah.
Y'all want to say hi?
You already know what it is. It's your boy Smooth, aka Clint. How y'all doing out there? We got a dope show lined up for y'all tonight. Let's get to it.
Willie?
What up, though? What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles. Back in the building. You know how I do it.
Yes. Me and Clint are fighting to sleep tonight. It's real right now. We be getting old, man. Like
this week really taught me. Now, I mean, like, I need to take my naps more seriously. You feel me? I need to get them in a little bit more.
I am the nap queen. Listen, back when we were kids, we hated naps. As an adult, I love them bitches. I would take a nap here or there. I'll take a nap anywhere. Like, I'll take a nap in a tree. That's how serious I am about naps. Like, I'm like all for them now.
I usually try to get like spread them out throughout the week, get some naps in, but I say I'm about to start taking a nap every day. Feel me? I have to recharge that battery every day.
I do an after work nap. So if I don't have to cook, I take me an after work nap. Let me get a good 30, 45 minutes, and I'm functioning.
Right.
That shit real.
Yeah, I mean, I just actually woke up from my nap just a minute ago, so so you know, I'm all for a nap too. Nap game for real.
I had a nap around 8:15. No, I had an 8:15. It started at 8:15. I woke up at 8:30. My son was still up. I'm like, "You not tired?" Because I was going to sleep without you, bro.
No, don't be tired. They be fighting that sleep.
Huh?
Kids. Them kids don't be tired. They be fighting that sleep. They don't know no better.
No.
Yeah.
For the last two nights, me and him had several arguments, right? He'd like be upset, like to the point where he's going to touch me, and I'm like, "Stop touching me. Just leave me alone and lay down." Like to the point where I'm yelling at him to stop touching me. And he looked at me like, "Why are you yelling at me?" I'm like, "Because I just want you to lay down." To him, that's all over the place, but yawning the entire time. I'm like, "Just go to sleep." Like, it's very simple. Just go to sleep. You tired. And then for him to go downstairs, want some random piece of food, come upstairs, barely eat it, and he passed out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm about to just walk out. I'm about to run away as an adult. Can you run away as an adult? Like from home?
Right.
I wish. Let's
right?
get to it, because you came up with this topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. We got the information. If you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio. If you guys want to call in, 657-383-1155, all that jazz. So tonight's topic is stay in your lane. How this topic came about, I was talking to someone that's close to me about some issues that they were facing, and I kind of understood where they were going from. Like where they were coming from. You know how you're in a relationship with somebody, your family or friends are either in the household to witness the ups and downs and they have an opinion, or they're on the outside looking in and they see what you're going through, so they adopt your feelings and they always have a say in what's going on in your relationship. So basically, we intentionally or unintentionally invite them in, and then when we want them to butt out, they don't want to. And then it becomes an issue between your significant other and that other person. And, you know, you just have to create boundaries. So me and this person had a real frank conversation, and I said to them, you have to decide what you're going to do, because you can't let a relationship, but in this particular situation, a marriage, end because not because you and the person are having problems, because you and that person and your family member are having problems. So you can't let it end because of someone else. It has to end because you guys can't work it out within yourselves, not third party. So we had that conversation. We actually had to continue that conversation today. And it was just like even though I'm not in a relationship, I was able to tell them, like, I understand what they were coming from, but at the same time, you have to, either you want the situation, either you want the relationship or you don't want it. And if you want it, you have to figure out what's wrong with it and fix it. And if you guys aren't the problem, and it's the outside person and your significant other, you have to figure out how to fix it. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I know we all have been through that, where we were either on the outside looking in, butting into somebody's relationship, or we were in a relationship and people was butting into our relationship that we had either inadvertently invited them in, or as you guys are males, I'm pretty sure you guys had it to where their friend or family was in y'all business and you wanted them to mind their damn business. So,
right.
You know, at some point we've all either have experienced that, have done that, have stepped across the boundary, and then decide to go back until we were pushed back, or whatever the case may be. So, if this has been your situation, feel free to call in. Again, it's 657-383-1155. But that's where the topic pretty much came from. So I wanted to talk to the fellas and see if we could talk about this. That way we could get everybody's opinion on it.
Whether you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll say yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, you know, like you said, you know, off the bat, I can definitely relate to this situation. I can definitely relate to this, you know, kind of, you know, ramification or side effect of you know, discussing family issues or not family issues, discussing relationship issues with family. You know, usually, especially as a man, we usually don't, you know, talk to too many people about our relationships, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, sometimes you think that, you know, you got to have somebody that you can, like, talk to about something. And I know I've been in that situation where, like, I think I had discussed the relationship situation with my mom, and, you know, I think that's probably that was when I did that, and the output from that, it's usually that's when I found out that was like the worst decision I ever made. Because
yeah,
you know, the one person that's gonna usually always have your back, and that's always gonna usually have an opinion about your life is gonna be your mother. Parents are probably the most critical of your life situations, your life decisions, life choices. So you definitely got to be careful of that, because they will come back to haunt you when it comes time to do something about, you know, your relationship situation. But, you know, going back to it, you know, I had been in a relationship with this girl for a couple of years, and you know, things weren't like horrible, but things, you know, some things that came up that made me feel some kind of way about the relationship. Where I felt like, you know, it wasn't going in the direction I wanted it to. And man, you know, yeah, I'm thinking like, oh, you know, my mom, she'll understand, and maybe, you know, she'll you know, give me some advice. You know, I think I was looking for advice a little bit, but I wasn't really looking for her to really say anything or like put nothing out there, you know, to the girl or whatever. And sure enough, you know, I think my mom went off on her or something. My mom was like talking to her on the side. I'm like, man, like, hold on. Right, like, hold on. You know, it's like, I'm gonna work this out on my own. I just wanted you to, you know, give me some insight, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was, you know, and I think one of the topic points is alluded to is that, you know, this kind of sometimes builds a negative effect of, or at least a negative image of your relationship if you talk to certain people about your relationship and issues you're going through, because this, in their mind, things are going to be blown out of proportion, because the only thing they'll be seeing or the only thing they'll be understanding is there's a problem. And I think sometimes people maximize the problems that you bring to them, one, because it's negative. And I think that all the negative things, just like everything else in this world, all the negative things get maximized while the positive things get minimized. If you ever look at what they call reviews for products, right? And unless the product is just absolutely phenomenal, usually when you see people, doing reviews, you'll see them talking about the negative things, and even if they got something positive to say, first thing they'll come out the gate with is what I don't like about this product. Go to Yelp. People who use Yelp is a website where you review restaurants. Go there. That'll be your indication of how people maximize negative. So I think a lot of times people maximize the negatives in your relationship because either that's the only thing they're seeing or getting told about, or because it's the negative, and especially when they're not living that day to day with you, I think it makes them maximize those things, and for them, that's the only thing going on in your relationship at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that last point about the negatives. Keeping that, like, my thing is, because what I've learned, because I've been through it as well, and where I messed up was talking about the negative aspects of the relationship that maybe should have just been between me and that partner. You feel me? Now, I mean, everything not for everybody. You feel me? What I learned is, if I'm gonna involve somebody else in the conversation or invite them into what's going on to my relationship, it's gonna be like superficial things, so to speak. When I say superficial, I don't mean fake. I just mean like surface things that everybody can relate to, that's been in relationships or that's in a relationship, as far as like communication issues or just dealing with, well, I like to do this, they like to do that. How can we compromise and things, like how to have certain conversations. You feel me? Never nothing too deep, because then when that happens, human nature take over. People definitely going to judge your relationship a little too harshly or whatever, or some people are defensive of you. So when you bring them into the relationship, they'll end up not liking your partner more than you. They'll having more of an issue with your partner more than you have, because they're protective of you, and they think you blind to what's happening or what have you. You know what I mean? And that's how some issues create. You know what I mean? Some people just they looking at themselves as being protectors of you when you really don't need that protection. You probably was just venting to them. But they took what you venting to them, and and from their perception, what have you, now they think they got to protect you. So like certain things you're just not even supposed to. Yeah, so it's like certain things you're not even supposed to take to other people outside of the relationship. If you two can't handle it, this is what I've learned. If I can't handle whatever issue, if it's a serious issue between us within the relationship, then, already that's letting us know that maybe we shouldn't be in a relationship if we can't handle our own problems. If somebody's always, we always got to bring a third party in. Now, some people interject themselves unwillingly. What's the word I'm looking for? Without being asked to, they just insert themselves into the situation. You feel me? Because they feel as though they, I guess either need to, or you made it comfortable. You made the situation comfortable for them to think that they can.
Yeah.
Then that can lead to another problem, because some people just sometimes yo, I don't need your advice. You feel me, about my relationship? You feel me? People just want to give you random advice because they and thinking they know you and your relationship better than you do.
Yeah, some people give bad advice. You have people that, whether or not you're happy or not, they just have to add their 2 cents and it make you either question certain things that don't need to be questioned because they're trying to understand why your relationship is the way it is, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. They're trying to because you guys, I wrote something today on Facebook and I took it down because I was in a weird headspace because I think that some people are just miserable. And you have those friends that, like, if you're going through stuff, you vent to them, but they're so miserable that they just want you to be miserable, but you don't really have, like, a real issue. It's just that you're telling them about something, maybe something minor, but they take it into, like, this extreme. So it can have you thinking that this extreme way, even though it's not that situation, they'll have you so caught up in this extreme thinking that you questioning your whole relationship, even though it's not even like that, you know? It was something minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, I think you talked about it from the past, so you have to be mindful of who you talk to.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes you only learn that through experience. Some people, you feel me? You only learn certain things. You only learn through experience, and then that's when you gain that wisdom. Like, all right, going forward, I'm, you know what I mean, everything. That's why I say everything, not for everybody. You know what I mean? If you want to
miserable people can't give good advice. They're just miserable.
Yeah. Mhm. And then some people are just, you know, everybody's personality. You got different personalities. You got some people are realists. Some people are pessimists. You feel me? And then you got some people who are idealists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's just who they are. And sometimes it isn't wrong. I think for me, like, I always feel like everybody's necessary. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you can, I mean, all of us, we all can get a little too euphoric and thinking everything's going good, and you need somebody that's there to hold on. You know what I mean? To level you out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we can mistake that for, oh, they just miserable. Or nah, they just seeing it for what it really is. You feel me?
Right.
They sometimes, you know what I mean? And I know don't nobody, like, when you're on that euphoric high and you feeling good, the last thing we all want to hear is somebody, you know what I mean, being serious or you know what I mean, shifting the mood. But sometimes it's needed. You feel me? Sometimes it's needed so you can see the whole picture, because you may be missing the big picture because you just caught in this high. You know what I mean? And so I mean, like, I be respecting it as long as they don't come off disrespectful. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, I always respect that perspective because, you feel me, it gives you the whole picture, it gives you the truth. And sometimes the truth ain't always, you feel me, the glitz and the glamour. You feel me? You know what I mean? So.
Right. I mean, like you said, Clint. I mean, I think a lot of times that some people do, you know, either ask or invite other people to look at their relationship from a different perspective. But, you know, you do have to just, you know, I think, like Sonny said, you have to be conscious of who you're asking. But I think you're right. You sometimes do need somebody to kind of give you kind of a level set, just to kind of make sure that, you know, you think it's all it really is. But I just feel like you just definitely want to make sure that you're highlighting all the points, you know, that you're putting all the information out there, because, like I said, if you know, give them too much of the bad, you know, or if you give them too much of the good, and you trying to, you know, you try to fantasize it, right? Or how you, I forgot the word, but it's like, you know, not just fantasize it in your own head, but to somebody else. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times people, you know, they may overhype it one way or the other. You know, but I think that it is important to still, you know, have somebody that you can, you know, have like as a true confidant in your situation, who kind of gives you, you know, some I'm losing the word I want to use, but basically that can kind of kind of balance out, what you're seeing in your relationship. I mean, like I said, to be honest, when I was talking to my mother about my relationship back then, I think I was trying to make sure I wasn't overreacting, or that I wasn't, trying to ask for too much out of the relationship. You know what I mean? So I think
that's what I do though too. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I don't. If I want to vent or whatever, I'm not really. That's with any situation, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, or whatever type of ship it is. I'm more of a. If I'm talking to you about the situation, I want to make sure that I'm not either overreacting or overthinking it, because I'm big on overthinking and stuff, because my mind is everywhere. So if I want to make sure that I'm rationalizing the situation and I'm not going above and beyond or assuming something, or how people, because for me personal, my personal sense, people always say I'm either not reacting properly or I'm overthinking it, and I'm just like I need to understand why I feel the way I feel. Is the way I feel valid? And I know that nobody can't tell you how you feel, but it's just like, okay, so this is what's going on. How do you feel about it? And then I'm going to say, okay, because this is how I felt, and this is what I was getting back to it. If they were saying X, Y, Z, but if that person is on the same page as me, not necessarily like in the same thought process, but understands why I felt the way I feel or why I feel the way I feel, it makes sense to me that I'm not overreacting.
Right.
So that's why I do it, and but I've also had experiences where you tell people certain things, and like Prince said, you give them bad, they're going to think bad. But if you can give them good, but sometimes you can give them both of it, and they're just all going to see the bad.
Yeah. You definitely you have to. I think you have to just prepare yourself for that. That's what I think it is. I mean, basically what we're saying is,
you have to understand that once
you gotta,
when that
you
can
do have
worm, whatever you get is what you get.
Exactly. But I think the one thing that's important for people to understand too is you also need to remember there is another person on the other side of that relationship that you need to communicate with. And I think a lot of times what people do is, especially when there's an issue, right? Especially when there's something that they don't like about the relationship, is that a lot of times they'll go to that friend, that confidant, that family member, and they'll say, oh, you know what? Such and such is not doing what I want them to do, or this relationship isn't going where I want it to go, or I'm not getting this out of the relationship. And they end up forgetting that other person is the person they need to work this out with. And I think that they don't realize that they need to say, you know what, hey, other person in this relationship, I'm having this problem, I'm having this issue, I want this to change, and you end up not getting the results you want because you haven't taken it to the person that needs to hear it. And I think that's the one thing is that they're missing, is that they have to remember you gotta communicate with your partner, you gotta communicate with your mate to say, I want us to work through these issues, or I want us to go in this other direction, or whatever the case may be. It could be good, it could be bad, but it could be something that, they don't realize or they don't recognize. Even if you feel like, hey, you know what, I've told them many times that I don't like coming home to socks on the floor. But if you don't tell them that I would prefer you to put your socks in the laundry room, they may not understand what I don't like about socks on the floor. They may not get it, even though it seems dead stupid to you, it may not be resonating with them. They may not be getting the point, like in my situation, I was dating a woman who was like, in my opinion, she was being lazy, right? So I was like, I think I was telling her like, oh, you know what? I think you need to do certain things when you come home, or I think you need to get a better job, or I think you need to blah, blah, this, or blah, blah, that. So, I think that, if I would have just came there and said, dang, you lazy, and, you need to get your butt up sometime. So she would probably be thinking like, dang, I clean the house every day. Like, what do you mean? What's up with that? Why do you act like, I'm not doing this? And that may not be my point. My point ain't that you're not cleaning up. But if I don't tell her that, if she's thinking I'm calling her lazy because because she thinks that, or that she might be thinking that I'm just talking about cleaning up the house, or whatever the case may be with the house. She might try to improve something that I'm not even thinking about. But if I don't, that's if I don't go to her and say, no, it's not that. I want you to go back to school and get a better job or get a career choice or whatever the case may be. This is where I want you to go in life so that way we as a partnership can be better. If I don't tell her that, she could be misinterpreting what I'm saying. She could be misinterpreting what I'm going through or what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? And so you have to communicate with your partner about what your issues are, or if it's something that you like, it's like, hey, I really like when, I come home and, you turn the TV on to my favorite channel, or you when we go out, I like it when, you let me, pick what restaurant we go to. You know what I mean? It could be something simple as that, but if it makes you happy, let your partner know. That's another thing is we got to remember we have to talk to our partners about the good things too. Can't be always about the negatives. It's got to be about the why do I love you, the why this relationship is working, the why this is why I choose to be with you or continue to be with you. I think a lot of times we forget that part too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So my next question is, when do you think it's okay for outsiders, meaning friends and family, to mind your business?
Like I said, with me, it's strictly with surface things that has to do with relationships in general that we all go through. You feel me? If you see me slipping in a relationship, check me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you see me not on point or whatever, check me. Let me know where I could be improving. You know what I mean? Clint, you ain't paying attention to this. You know what I mean? You ain't doing that, or this, that, and the third. Whatever it may be, let me know what I'm doing wrong. But as far as relationships, you feel me? If nothing, and if it's physical, if it's getting physical, or you know what I mean, too much violence, if violence in a relationship, then all right, step in. That's how everybody should step in. Feel me? I mean, get them to a part. You feel me? Get them to a part. Feel me? If there's violence involved or any of that, you know what I mean? Any of that domestic stuff, you know what I mean? Mental abuse, whatever have you. If you see that going on, then you can get involved. But outside of that, like, mind your damn business. You know?
I was waiting for him to go. We need to make. Hold on. I need to make the Mind Your Damn Business shirt from sponsored by GFP Radio, because that's our motto. Mind your damn business.
Right.
Because my thing is with relationships, and we talked about this before on I forget which episode, but it was a dope ass show. I forget. We was talking about giving advice to friends within relationships. We was talking about, you know what I mean, like we talked about that before, and it was like we always got caught in a situation where we give somebody advice, somebody comes to us, you feel me, with an issue or what they going through in a relationship, we give them advice, you know what I mean, advice would be dope as hell, and it seemed like they listen, and then you realize they never took the damn advice.
Hell no, they don't. They want to.
Yep, they keep repeating the cycle. They come back to you and complain all over again. You feel me? So it's like, you know what I mean? I tell people, you know what I mean? People going to be who they are. They're going to do what they want to do within a relationship. You don't know. Nobody really going to ever tell you the whole truth of their relationship. You feel me? They just going to tell you their side. So it's like, just, you know what I mean? Like, nah. Avoid getting involved. Avoid getting involved altogether. You feel me? And avoid, if like I said, if it ain't no violence, no domestic, anything like that, fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think that that's basically the only time that there should be some kind of intervention You know, if it's violence, maybe if there's some drug use involved that you just tearing them apart or whatever the case may be, something that really needs to be squashed. But past that, everything else, I think those people have to work that out on their own. I mean, if you feel like you got an opinion to something that one of the people told you, tell them that one particular person. Don't get emotionally wrapped up in that relationship. That's what the problem a lot of people do. And they definitely, you know, going back to our topic title is stay in your lane. You know, you got to be able to separate your strong feelings for your friend or your family member and realize that other person, they may have another part of the story, or that other person may not be understanding what the issue is or where they're going wrong. And, you know, you get emotionally wrapped up in that relationship and trying to have your say in it or giving them grief because, you know, they making your friend mad, that kind of stuff. You know, I think a lot of times people, you know, they get too wrapped up emotionally. I know a friend of mine, she was telling one of her best friends, like, you know, I need you to support me, not tear down the boyfriend, you know. So because she was getting so wrapped up in what her girl was telling her about the boyfriend, that she was like out and out attack the guy, like, you know, not physically, but you know what I mean, but like, you know, with her words, with her actions, with her attitude. You know, they would try to go out, and she got an attitude because of something her girl told her about the guy. You know, and she's like, you know, that's between us. I'm confiding in you. It's not for you to make a judgment call. It's not for you to come back and be critical of him or critical of what he's doing every second of the time y'all together or y'all, you know, hanging out with me, that kind of thing. So it's like you have to be able to separate that. And if you recognize that your friend or your confidant can't handle the emotions involved in your relationship, don't confide in them. You know, you have to realize they're not the right person to confide in. No matter how good of a friend you think they are to you, they can become an enemy of your relationship, you know, and that's the last thing you need is to have somebody who's constantly critical of your relationship, irregardless of the goods, the bads, the ups, the downs. You know, they become a hindrance in that relationship. They could create animosity and drama in that relationship, especially because a lot of times, and you know, not to be saying this is a guy versus girl thing, but I think a lot of times whoever's the more emotional person that's you know, bringing these things up, then the less emotional person is going to feel, you know, that this is just an attack and that person is overreacting. And then it's going to cause that person to feel like, hey, I don't need to listen to this, and I don't need to deal with the drama that you two are creating, and then you lose your relationship over that. You know what I'm saying? Or it becomes minimized. The issues you have become minimized because, you know, you say, oh, I don't like this about, you know, my significant other, and then you tell your friend, and your friend brings that to your spouse's attention, and it's like, I want to be like, you know what, you went to them about this, you know, it must not be that important. You didn't tell me, you know, or they might feel like it's not something that they're going to listen to, that they're going to feel like it's that important because that person said it, you know, and now you have the problem of, you know, they're just getting noise on both sides of the situation. You don't want that. You don't want them to feel like it's just noise, you know.
Yeah, but it's funny too that you say that. So I was a friend that got too emotionally invested in a relative of somebody that got too emotionally invested in two separate situations. In one situation, it was physical abuse. In the other situation, it was just a bunch of bullshit that was happening that I felt like this person shouldn't accept. And I got to the point. So with the abuse situation, I spoke my piece because it wasn't even that they told me. It was in the paper. I read it in the paper first. Then I'm like, what the hell? And then we had a conversation about it, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, explain to me what the hell happened, and I need to understand why you're still even around this person type of situation. And I had to get to the point where I was so emotionally invested because, for one, I was worried about this person's safety, like, genuinely. Because of the severity of the situation that originally kicked everything off that was in the paper. And then it was like a conversation that we had about other situations. And I'm like, wow. So I'm legitimately worried about your safety, and you're choosing to be around this person that is causing you this harm and this anguish and whatever. And I had a real conversation with this person. I said, listen, I had to take a step back from our friendship because I was so worried about you that I was worrying myself sick. But I had to understand that you don't give a fuck about your safety. So meanwhile, I'm over here dreading a phone call that I'll never want to get. And I'm worrying myself sick, and you seem to not care that I'm worrying about you, like, legitimately. So I had to take a step back and understand that whatever the hell we wanted for you, which was your safety, you didn't want that for yourself. You convinced yourself that you were happy, so I'm going to let you be happy in that situation. And I'm going to just stand here and be here on the sidelines if and when you need me. But I can't deal with this person, so I'm not going to be phony and be around them. But I will hang out with you. I will be a friend to you. But I can't put myself in a situation with this person because I already know what type of person they are. And I'm not going to be silent around this person because of how strongly I feel about somebody putting their physical hands on me. So, and I explained that to this person. And they were upset because they didn't understand why I couldn't be around a person. And I said, listen, I don't want to say anything wrong because if you want to be happy, that's what you choose. That's what you choose. But I can't sit here and be silent. So rather than say something or step out of line, I'm just going to fall back in that situation. We can hang out on our own time. We can do stuff on our own time when you're allowed to, but I can't put myself in that situation because I already know what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to say. So they were upset because I was 100% honest with them. Like, whether or not I was right or wrong, I expressed to them how I felt and what was going to happen, so I'm going to take myself out of the situation. And that situation ended however it ended. The other situation, I just was like, I don't like how this person's treating me, but if you like it, I love it. And obviously you don't give a damn, so I need to stop giving a damn. So when you got problems, don't tell me. Just be happy and live your best life. Tell somebody else, I don't want to hear it anymore. And that's how I've been that's how I've been since then. I love my friends. I want y'all to be happy. You asking for my rights, I'm going to give you my opinion. But if you don't give a fuck about it, you like how you're being treated, you think that's the best shit since sliced bread, go right ahead, live your best life. I'm here. I don't want to hear shit about this person.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest thing to see is a person who goes through, especially abusive relationships. And you know, I mean, I've been there where, you know, I know that somebody's getting abused, and I tell them, I explain to them, I try to reason with them, but they, like you said, they want to be in that relationship so bad. They want to try to fix that other person so bad. And you have to realize that no matter what you say or what you do, even if it's driving them back to that person, or if it's just going in one ear and out the other, people will make their own decisions and their own choices, regardless of what you tell them or regardless of what you try to do to save them. You know, I hate to see it happen. It's one of those things. I don't think you should ever not do anything or not say anything because you might be able to save a person who's willing to listen. So I never tell people to not say anything. I never tell people not to do anything about those situations. Intervene when you see there's a problem, but also understand.
Oh, that's all black eyes. We have seen a minute. Don't it?
Yeah, but you know, if it's one of those situations where they're coming to you and saying, hey, you know, this went down a couple of days ago or last week or whatever the case may be, and you're like, hey, you know what? I done seen these things end badly. I done seen people, you know, go through these things, and you think it's just going to be this one time, but it's just going to keep escalating. You know, say something to them about it. You know, but you know, also realize that there's going to be certain people who will hear these warnings and will hear these or have these interventions and will still walk right back into that situation. You got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to see. I've had friends that have gone through it and continue to go through it, regardless of their own warnings to themselves, but they still, I don't know what it is, that makes people, that drives people into those relationships, and they continue to want to thrive off of them or still want to build on them. But they do, and as sad as it is and as hard as it is to watch, no matter what you do, you're not going to be the person to stop it from happening. They have to do it. Even if they listen to you and they stop right then, but it's still their choice. It's still their, admonition that it's happening and that it needs to stop. It's still them that has to make that decision. You can't drive that point home to them. And you have to realize that all you can do, like you said, Sonny, is support them. All you can do is say, you know what, I'm here for you, and I'm definitely, if I'm in the situation, if I'm right there in the heat of things, yeah, it's not going down. I'm sorry, I can't stand by and watch somebody, man or woman, beat on another man or woman. This is not going to happen in front of me. But if you are a friend of mine and you continue to want to be in that situation, I'm not about to say that I'm not going to be there for you and say, you know what, hey, I want you to be safe. I want you to be, in something different, because there's better things that are out there for you. I want you to realize that, life can be different and situations can be different with somebody else or with something else. Be alone before you be with somebody that want to beat the hell out of you. But, that's, I have to realize that that's not going to be what stops them. It's going to be them realizing, you know what, I want better out of my life, or I want better out of my relationship. I want my family to be safe, or I want my kids to see something different out of the relationships I have. It's up to them to realize that, for them to make that decision and make that choice. So I think that's the one thing you do have to realize, and step in, but don't try to be what breaks that up, because it's not going to work. Not you. It's them.
I would like to admit something.
Go ahead.
It is the time. Like when you see somebody doing or allowing something or doing something they know better, like you better than that. You know better than that. You feel me? Like certain situations, like when you know somebody, like you, and you know they may be in the wrong, or they may know they being wrong and they just letting it go. Like you can speak on that. And it ain't got nothing to do with being physical, or it just be some bullshit within the relationship, or bullshit you saying, and like you know better than that. You feel me? Like them little tactic, I call them the little unspoken things, tactics or agreements people have amongst each other. That even certain friends, you have, you may be closer with than others. So certain things can go unsaid. Certain things can be said without being said. You know what I mean? And when you see them slipping, or when you see them not doing what you know they should be doing, like, then you can speak up. You know what I mean? Then you can speak up. When you see them acting totally out of character. You know what I mean? When you see them acting totally out of character, you know what I mean? And it may just be for that one situation. This particular situation, keep having them acting out of character. You feel me? Then, you know what I mean? Then you can say something. Then you can say something to them. You feel me? Because I would want I'm saying that because I would want my friend, your real friend, you'll pull my card, pull me to the side, say something. You feel me? If not, if you keep.
I mean, I don't know if this is the same. Yeah, I don't know if this is the same thing you're trying to say, but like there was a situation with a friend of mine where some mutual friends and I, we were all hanging out, and one of the mutual friends noticed that that my other friend was just different in the way she was acting with this guy she was dating, like just in terms of how she, how she hung out, how she presented herself, how she kind of, I guess, was basically like she was pretty much putting on a certain kind of face with him when he was around, versus how she was when it was just us hanging out as just friends, by herself. And, even though we all noticed it, most of us either didn't want to say anything or just didn't know how to say it. But she said it, she was like, hey, I noticed when you around him, you act a certain way, you act like this, and, you're not really yourself. You're not really, you don't have, a good time in the same kind of way, or whatever the case may be. However however you act when you're around this person, it's like you're putting on this face. And, the way she was putting it to her was like, sometimes you gotta make sure that this person you dating sees the real you, not and that you don't lose yourself while you're dating them. Because, if you try to put on a certain face trying to impress them or trying to hide from them what you are or who you are, you're creating a pitfall for yourself, because, that's going to build up into something negative later on. That's going to make you feel like you are less than yourself when something negative does pop up. And,
I can't lie.
I think that right, exactly. And like you said, Clint, I think that is probably a good time for somebody to step in. That is, especially when they recognize that, because sometimes you might not recognize it when you're in the relationship, right? You might be like, I feel like I'm just trying to be a better person for this person I'm dating, or I feel like I'm trying to, just make a change for that person, that kind of thing. If you can recognize what you're doing and why you're doing it, then it may be okay. You know what I mean? Like case in point, like me and my fiance, I love her, she loves me. We have a great time together. But the way we have a great time together is different than how I have a good time with my friends, right? Mainly because I'm the kind of person, and I do this with my kids too, I don't drink around people who don't drink, right? So when I'm around my boys, we go out, we drink, like we drink, right? So when I'm with her, because she don't drink, and same thing like if I'm out with my kids because they don't drink, because, my younger kids, not my older kids, my younger kids, because they don't drink, I don't drink, I mean, like with my kids, sometimes I might have one drink. and sometimes my fiance, I might have one drink. But past that, that's it. I'm not about to sit here and get tipsy or feel like I can try this and try that and all this other stuff. I don't do that with them, because I feel like, if I'm the only one drinking, it just feels weird to me, So the way I party or the way I hang out, it's way different in terms of what I do with them. Whereas with my friends, they might notice that and be like, man, when you're around such and such, you just be like, just chill. You don't want to have a drink with us, blah blah blah. It's like, it's just because I'm not about to sit here and be the only person drinking, and then I feel some kind of way, because I just, me personally, just don't like it, So but it's something that I recognize. It's something that I consciously choose, But if I'm around my fiance and I'm just being fake, you know what I mean? I might be like, oh, maybe I change my political views when I'm around her, or I may look at things a different way when I'm around her just to impress her. One of my boys be like, dang, dog, you wasn't saying that last week when we were having the same discussion, or last year you was voting for Obama, now you voting for Trump. What's going on? That kind of thing, or maybe even religion, whatever the case may be. People will change up whole aspects, viewpoints of their life to impress a person, and if you do that and your friend recognize that, I think you're right. So they should step in and say, hey, you know what, man, you fronting in this relationship. You really, do people still say fronting? I don't know. I might be sounding old, my bad. But you fronting in this relationship trying to be somebody you ain't around this, significant other, and that's just taken away from your own personality, or you doing yourself a disservice, by being somebody else
around that person. I think the new term is called capping.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, you young people, I don't know.
I ain't too young. I don't say that shit.
But yeah, I feel you.
Give out the number 100%. Again.
I don't know. I just feel like now for me to get involved, you have to ask my opinion. And that's the extent of me getting involved. Ask my opinion. I'm gonna answer it, and that's gonna be that. Don't ask if you don't want me to say nothing.
Exactly.
Other than that, I'm gonna let you be great.
You know what I mean? I feel you though. You feel me? And some people understand. Yeah. Like,
and then what if you?
That's true though. You don't want the truth.
Then they like what so and so said. Now Mike hates you because you told your girl to leave him the fuck alone because he wasn't shit. And now he looking at you like, bitch, ain't you the bitch told her to leave me alone because I ain't shit? I don't got time for that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But you know he ain't shit. You should have been like him.
Hold on, before we continue, we do want the audience opinion. Hopefully, folks out there have some opinions of their own. Give us a call, 657-383-1155. Chime in, tell us your opinion on this subject. When is it good for somebody to step in your relationship? You know, when is it not good? You know, how do you tell your people how to stay in their lane? Going back to the question though, not to that question, but to another question though, is in terms of giving in to pressure from family. I think we described it as the ultimatums from fearing the family. So it's like exactly, and people have done it. I've heard that. I've never had a family member tell me, love them or leave us alone. But I've seen it happen, especially, and I think Sonny, you were describing a situation with parents. You want to give people the scenario?
Yes. So you basically living with, like, you're living with your spouse or your person you're relationship with. You guys been living together for years. I'm talking 5+. And something happens where one parent falls ill, passes away. Now you have the other parent living with you because they need help. This parent has been in the house for a couple of years. They've seen the ups and downs of the relationship. They have formed their opinion, and they're basically speaking with their significant other. And the basic synopsis is the significant other is like kick your parent out or I'm out. Mm-hmm. Or the parent is saying kick your significant other out or I'm out, or if you basically have to choose between your significant other and your parent, and who's gonna So for most people, they're not gonna have their parent kicked out on the street. Mm. So how do you win past ultimatums? Also, it could be where you're dating someone, because I've seen this too. I say I'm dating Clint. Me and Clint having problems, and my friend doesn't like Clint. So my friend says she's going to stop speaking to me if I don't leave Clint alone. Like, what do you do when you face those types of ultimatums?
Well, first of all, fuck your friend, and that's what you tell your friend. You feel me? That's first of all. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Like, fuck your friend.
Yeah, fuck your friend. You feel me? Your friend come to you with that ultimatum, or your family, no, fuck them. And it involves me. Now, for everybody else, like, I think that's just weird, though. I think that's weird for anybody to put anybody in that predicament. You feel me? Unless it's like a destructive situation, and that person is causing destruction within the family structure. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. But if it's just a personal thing, a personal beef, you feel me? Like, nah. Like, you know what I mean? Why put somebody in the middle of that? You feel me? Because, and why would somebody why would your friend or that family member be beefing with your significant other? Significant other. And why would your significant other be beefing with them? You know what I mean? Like, if y'all didn't have any issues prior, you feel me? Like, y'all shouldn't even be that emotionally attached to where y'all have an issue with each other. Because your only connection is me. And to be quite honest, I could deal with y'all, each of y'all individually.
Right.
So why are you giving me this ultimatum? Like who do you think you are? See, now you're placing too much value on who you think you are in my life now. You feel me? To where you think that you can give me an ultimatum of who I choose to spend my time with. Like, nah, you don't dictate that. I'm not about to allow nobody in my life to dictate that. You feel me? If you can't understand that I like being around this person outside of my time being around you, and if you can't coexist with that, then you can either, you know what I mean, continue just to see me when I'm not with them, or don't see me at all. But I mean, who the hell are you to tell me? You know what I mean? It's either them or me.
You'd be surprised how people do that.
That shit sound crazy. Like, that shit sound crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Bye. You feel me? That's gonna be my response to you. Bye. Because obviously, you feel me? You got the constructs of our friendship or our relationship totally fucked up. If you think I'm gonna allow you to dictate that, you know what I mean? I'm not giving that power over to nobody in my life. You feel me? That's power. Like, nah, like, nobody walking this earth should have that power over you. Like, no.
I could dig that.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing is that that's the big thing is that you know, like you said, the power, you know, people trying to push their power on you. But I think, you know, you do have to make that decision based on, you know, what's right for you and your family situation. I mean, because some people could be just, like you say, trying to lord something over you, you know, and being unreasonable. I mean, I think a lot of times this happens in situations where people are, you know, honestly worried for you or worried for your situation, but then there's other times where people are just being assholes. You know, I mean, you know, to be all honest, you know, and I think you have to recognize the difference and then make that decision accordingly. I know me, I'm not a huge, you know, fan, because like I said, I learned my lesson back in the day. I'm not a huge fan of letting people into my relationships just because, you know, I know the ramifications of that. I know that what can come of that. But, you know, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and somebody that is close to me on a friend or family level is having a problem with them, and if I'm in love and I know this relationship is good and this relationship has nothing to do with that outside person, the outside person will have to deal with it. You know, that's my thing. You know, I love you to death, but you know, I can't. You're not gonna be my companion. Two, you're not gonna be the one that's gonna help me build and have a better life. You know, you're not gonna be the one that's gonna, you know, help me pay these bills, whatever the case may be. You know, so you know, you're gonna have to make your choice, your decision to be at arm's length at that point. You know. But that may not work for everybody. Some people may say, hey, you know, I value my family more, my friends more than I value my relationships, you know, and so be it, you know, because sometimes you might feel like this relationship isn't worth all of that in order to save the relationship, you know, and you do have to make that determination. It's like, is that relationship really worth that much? Do you want a lifelong or a familial bond or a lifelong friendship, do you want to damage that or threaten that relationship over somebody who may be temporary anyway? So you do have to keep that in mind. I've been there, and I've had to, make the hard and tough decision, because, there's people's emotions involved, and everybody gets caught up in their own different way in those relationships. But when you know that, for you, it has to be good for you. You can't just go ahead and lay down and let that person make that decision for you that's outside your relationship, as well as you can't let the person in a relationship with make that decision for you just because they're in a relationship with you. They can't be like, oh, I'm your boyfriend, you just going to do what I say, or that kind of thing. If y'all married, that's a different thing. Y'all now family, so you got to keep that in mind. But you'll see people, they'll give up their marriages over because their cousin don't like their boyfriend or their husband. People will be funny like that, but that's people. So, but you do have to be, you have to make sure it's good for you and your situation. And just to be clear, my thing is I don't like ultimatums anyway, though. I mean, you give me an ultimatum, I'll put that out in the world. Don't give me an ultimatum because you automatically getting a no from me. It's a no for me, dog. Because I don't like ultimatums. Don't tell me what I'm gonna do. Don't tell me what I'm about to do. Don't tell me how I'm gonna do it.
Exactly. We too old for that.
Right, too old for that. I think I dumped a girl over that. She gave me an ultimatum to. I think she gave me an ultimatum to marry her or else, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll take the or else. I was like, hey, Alex, give me or else for $200, please. So,
I'm gonna be like, I gotta choose you for my relationship. I'm gonna choose this stapler or some stupid shit. I'm choosing the stapler. I don't even choose you anymore. Like I'm Pike Pokemon.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Like with Charizard was looking like more of a friend, so I'm gonna go with Charizard. Like I don't got time for you and your bullshit.
Charizard is pretty cool. I'm sure he'll be a better
Definitely. To me,
but
that's
I never was. Yeah, but and with family members, that I'm not going to choose a family member or relationship. Like I'm not nobody. Like, y'all better figure that shit out. Y'all old as hell, figure it out.
Nah, but it's like, and that's my point. It's like we too old for, like you said, we too old for that. And then we should already know how to, you know what I mean, handle that situation. You feel me? Like if I got it, if say it's us three, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, like. It's either Willie or me. Like, that don't even sound right. It's like, all right, listen, you deal with Willie how you deal with Willie, you feel me, and I deal with you. Me and Willie ain't got to do, you know what I mean? We ain't got to talk or do nothing. You feel me? And we can still, you know what I mean, you because my only tie is to you. You feel me? Like, it's not to him.
Right.
So like that, I shouldn't even have to worry about that relationship. As long as I know me and you good, to hell with him. You feel me? And if you feel like our relationship, and if I'm really a friend, you feel me? I just keep my mouth shut. I wouldn't even bring that situation, or I would coexist. I would still be able to coexist if I rock with you like that. You know what I mean? Because then now I'm making it personal when I give you an ultimatum. You feel me? I'm making it about me. It ain't even really, like it has nothing to do with you. The ultimatum is really about me and about making me feel good. It's either Willie or me. You know what I mean? So it's like, and in a way, I'm giving you a certain power over me. So that's why I like the you know what I mean? Like, it goes both ways. I'm like, the ultimate is dumb. It's dumb.
Right.
It's dumb. We don't even, you feel me? Like, it's just stupid. It serves no purpose. Because, like I said, unless Willie being destructive, you feel me, and trying to, you know what I mean, bring you down, and then trying to bring all of us down with him, then it's like, all right, like I can't do this. I'm not even. It's no ultimatum. I'm just walking away. Now, if you walk with me, cool. But I'm just gonna let you know I'm walking away from this shit. I can't do this. You feel me? I'll be over here. You feel me? So if you want to come, you know what I mean? If you want to continue our relationship, you got to come over here. You know what I mean? It's no ultimatum. It just is what it is. I'm over here. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's no ultimatum to it. Like you can still, that's not going to affect nothing over here with me and you. But I'm just letting you know I'm over here. Like real simple. So, you know what I mean? I don't understand what, like, I mean, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Right.
Like Willie said, now I mean, as soon as you give me that ultimatum, like, all right, you lose. You lose. You know what I mean? You feel me? I'm going to always choose the or else. I'm going to always choose, or I might not even choose the or else. Whatever I'm going to choose, it ain't going to be you. Since you want to give me an ultimatum.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now we in our after show, right?
Yep.
So
it's the after show.
I want to bring up something because a friend of mine, she even called me. It's been a hot topic. She even called me right before the show started, and she asked me about it, what my thoughts on it, and it's about the deal Jay-Z just made with the NFL.
Oh man, I just
and Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now, I'm gonna just give my quick opinion on it. Same thing I told. Repeat just what I told her, and what I even you go on my Twitter at eTrend Grew Me out there. Y'all go and I wrote it on there too. I have no issue with nothing Jay-Z said or is doing. You feel me? I felt him wholeheartedly when he was like, you know what I mean? All right, you feel me? We beyond kneeling. Let's put some action behind it. You feel me? That's what we should have been. We should have been did that. You feel me? Everybody keep this done went from Kaepernick kneeling for police brutality against blacks to now stand with Cap to help him get a job back. To let's boycott the NFL, and I gotta admit I even got caught up in that. And then I take a step back and I look, man, this man is really fighting to get back on the plantation. He was never boycotting. Like, we totally missing the point of where everything started. He was never boycotting the NFL. It was never about the NFL. It was always about brutality against black people, police brutality against black people, social injustice that we endure. That's what it was about. That's what it's supposed to be about. That's where the conversation is supposed to stay.
And now it's on some bullshit.
And now it's on, exactly. We're talking about the NFL. Like, the NFL has nothing to do with anything. How did we go from kneeling for social injustice to stand with Cat, who's supposed to be bigger than him? You feel me? So when I put things in proper perspective, like, you know, Jay-Z coming from a business perspective. He doing business. You feel me? So he said he want us in the room. He's coming from that perspective, that lane. All right, I respect it. He's right. He's right. That's his way of doing action. You feel me? He ain't got to be out there in the pavement, you know what I mean, all day. Like, that's how he do his. You feel me? But the conversation should have nothing to do with the NFL or Jay-Z or Colin Kaepernick or Eric Reed. The conversation is not about y'all. It's about what you was actually kneeling for. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? How many more cops got off for shooting innocent people, black people, or unarmed, I should say? You feel me? Let's still talk about that. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Right.
That's where all this shit started. So quite frankly, I don't give a damn if that man don't never get no job back in the NFL. You feel me? Because if that's the end goal, if he get his job back, then what? We all satisfied now?
Right.
The fuck? Yeah. What are we satisfied for? Like, what did he accomplish?
Right. I mean, I'm you know, if he wants to be back in the NFL, I would be happy for him to do that. But like you said, that's not what his protest was about, and that wasn't his goal, right? He wanted to bring awareness. He wanted to bring a social justice issue to the forefront. You know, the whole aspect of it was for them to do that, right? And yeah, it was bad that they lost their jobs over it, and it was bad that was the stance that the NFL and the owners took in terms of how they've been handling it. But I think, like you said, the point of the matter goes back to why they started that protest, why there needs to be a spotlight shown. And the fact is that if the NFL feels like they need somebody to come in and handle this differently, to do something actionable with it, because that was the first thing that stood out to me. And if people don't know what we're talking about, there's an interview out there. There's some kind of press conference that was being given, and the question came up to Jay-Z was, would you kneel or would you stand, or something like that to that effect. And I mean, admittedly, I don't think he ever answered the direct question, but he definitely answered the question in a way where it was like, it made sense. It was like, you know what? We have to put action behind this situation now. We've done it. People understand what the issue is. You know, not everybody seems to understand what the issue is. I mean, that's one place where I kind of didn't agree with what he said, because he said everybody knows what the issue is now. And he asked a few people in the room, and they were like, police brutality, social injustice, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, those people in the room knew because they're there. There's some people out there who still are caught up in this whole, they kneeled and they were disrespecting the flag situation. Their mind's still gone. But I think from a standpoint that the next thing he said was 100% right. He said, we got to do something actionable now. You know, the problem that we have right now is we got a lot of armchair and online activists out here, right? We got so many people who are willing to talk the talk and speak on it and share posts and share outrage online, but nobody's doing anything to action it. And his thing was, let's do something actionable. What's next? Where you know, we can't say let's kneel to bring awareness, and then once people are aware, do nothing with it. That's the problem everybody has with Shaun King right now. Everybody's like, oh, exactly. You know, Shaun King is a great writer and a social justice warrior, because, you know, social media justice warrior, because he's on social media 24/7 bringing awareness to the issues. But when they asked Shaun King to go out there and walk that walk and talk that talk, Shaun King like, nah, bruh, no, I'm a writer. I don't do that. I'm gonna sit right here in this armchair and I'm gonna let y'all know what's happening out there. Y'all gonna do that. Don't do it Shaun King thing. Don't run away and do it with me. No, that's not my thing. You know. Now if you want somebody to be out there walking the walk with you, you go get Jesse and Sharpton. That's who you go get. You know. So and it's the difference between you know, protesting and finding solutions. You know, protesting is great. It is. It's great to put people on blast,
to bring attention,
people on notice, and bring attention and say, hey, you are doing wrong. You are doing wrong. But now we need action, right? You know, Eric Garner's daughter right now is still out there on that. Well, I don't know right this second, but I know that she's been the last couple of months has been and has been doing it for years, have been outside of that police station, not just protesting, but demanding action action, right? She doesn't want them to just allow her to protest. They've been letting her protest. They don't bother her. They don't go out there and harass her. They don't spray her. They don't do nothing. They let her protest all day. Because that's what they'll do. They'll let you protest all day. But as soon as you want some action, that's when you see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. And I think this deal with Jay-Z and Roc Nation, the Roc Nation part of it, or I don't know if this is just a Roc Nation deal, but I didn't mean to say the Roc Nation part of it, but the halftime show part of it, I don't understand that part of it. I don't know if that means that they're going to be able to start putting some protests into the halftime shows or not, or what that really means. That part I don't understand. I kind of think that may be the money grab where they're like, hey, we're going to put all the Roc Nation artists on our halftime shows. But I think that at least the part of, the social justice effort part of it, having to say, okay, you know what, Jay-Z is going to come in here and he's going to say, you know what, we're not doing enough in this state, or we're not doing enough in this region, or we're not doing enough with this team to bring social justice issues to light and to do something in the community about it. So let's do this and let's push that. Is he going to do all of that? Hopefully, we hope so. Hopefully it won't just be about continuing to protest, but the way he put it in that interview was, let's do something actionable. And I think this is, at least a good faith effort on the NFL's part to say, you know what, our players want action, our fans, some of our fans want action, so let's do something about it. And now they have somebody here who can hold them accountable and say, you know what, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And hopefully it can satisfy and hopefully make some change, hopefully bring some change about. There's so much opportunity here. And like you said, Clint, to just be stuck on let's get Kaepernick back a job, that should not be the goal. Because that end goal doesn't accomplish anything for anybody other than for Kaepernick. And that's it. And apparently he don't want it. Apparently he don't even want it that bad. The man, he done did his thing. He done sued. He done did whatever he had to do. But that's up to that man. On that part of it to get that figured out. And we can continue to be on that front and say, hey, help him get his job back from that front, but we can't say let's not do this Jay-Z deal just because Kaepernick don't got a job yet. That don't make sense.
Don't make sense.
Yeah, I think the people get caught up in others and not the important part of the thing. They just focus on so many other things that don't pertain to the original. That's how it was. The same way, it's like a misdirect. People brought somebody. I think Kaepernick's girlfriend tweeted out to Jay-Z and said a couple things, and people said a couple things or whatever. And it's the same way Trump did. Trump was like, it's about the truth. Nobody said it was about the truth, but like they spin it how they want.
Yeah,
and people get stuck in.
My thing is, the man, the whole time, for years some change, the whole thing was let's not let them spin the narrative of what he kneeled for. Right? That was the whole thing. Trump trying to change the narrative. He tried, we was blaming Trump for trying to change the narrative to making it about the flag. You feel me? And we kept saying no. He wasn't kneeling. He was kneeling to bring awareness to the, what we talking about. Blacks being brutalized by the police and other social injustices. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? But then, now, we done became a part with, I'm just saying, the public and the whole, done switched the narrative themselves. And then where we done forgot what we was all up in arms about, and why we was standing behind him, to now it's like, okay, now we done made him the thing.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now, yeah, like that's crazy to me. Like how we get lost that quick. That we, you know what I mean? To where, you feel me? Like this should be a secondary discussion.
To the core of the problem, though. People don't pay attention to the core of the problem. They get caught up in the crowd mentality. People are upset. Oh, I'm upset too. Don't even know why they're upset.
Exactly. You feel me? And then this is why they always say, know what I mean, from, know what I mean, don't argue with fools, because from a distance people can't tell who is who. Because, you feel me, it's those of us who never really lost sight of what the big picture was, that stood behind Cap from the beginning and respected, well, okay, boom, that's dope. But we always knew what it was about. Know what I mean? So, okay, if y'all going to punish this man for standing up for us, of course, yeah, I'm still support this man because, you feel me, he stood up for me. He took that knee for me. But it's not about that man, that one man. It's never, he took that knee for me, and when I mean for me, I mean all black men like me. All black men, period. So he took that knee for us. Cool. Yeah, we're going to support him, yeah. And because the reason why he did it was solid. You feel me? But that man didn't think that was going to cost him his career. Or maybe he did it trying to fight for his career. Who knows? Because a lot of players had issues, you feel me? They was like, you know what I mean? Because he even said himself he didn't expect it to blow up like it did. Because he did it a couple of weeks prior before anybody even knew he actually did it. But now it's about him. He done got him a Nike deal. Okay. You feel me? That's a win. He got a settlement from the NFL. That's a win. All right, let's get back to the fight. You still want to play football? You feel me? You feel me? They showed you what they thought about you, but you still want to go back? Okay, cool. All right, you go back. We about to go fight though. We got to figure out what's next. You feel me? As a people, we still all got to figure out what's next. And that's why I say this, even with this Jay-Z situation, that should be a secondary conversation. You feel me? Like, that's all right, that's good business. That's great business. And he, you know what I mean, he got his voice in there. You feel me? But who the fuck cares who's singing at halftime of the Super Bowl? People still out here getting killed. You feel me? Like, but y'all arguing, like, what y'all arguing about?
Yeah, I mean, if people want to argue, I think they should argue about something that has some relevance. I mean, I just read an article. This guy had an issue with the deal only because he felt like Jay-Z probably wasn't the best representation of social justice and as well as, you know, a good enough martyr for the black, not martyr, but what's the word? Good enough example for the cause for urban youth and urban situations. So, you know, I mean, I even though some of his points were a little off, but I see his argument more than I see the argument about, you know, don't do this because of Cap. You know, it's like he had a legitimate beef with the situation from that standpoint. He saw it as the NFL's way of kind of like putting another piece of tape or put another Band-Aid over the situation versus doing something about it. You know, so I think a person having that kind of argument, it's more relevant than anything else. You know what I mean? You know, or people who feel
Willie,
like, yeah.
Willie, I even say even that's foolish. Even that argument is foolish, Willie. Because it goes back to the simple premise. What does the NFL? How can the NFL do anything to stop the police from shooting people, unarmed blacks in the streets?
Right. Yeah.
You feel me? Mass incarceration. What can the NFL do for that?
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah, because, you know, people want to people
at the end of the day, that's a business. That's a business thing. They can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when y'all talking about what Jay-Z, it's always a business move. Kaepernick, how many times have y'all seen Kaepernick in front of that camera really giving speeches or talking to the public? Like how many times he release statements more than anything?
Right.
Or if he accepting some type of award or something. But he parts his words. You know what? He never really came out and said anything crazy because he always wanted to get back to the league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the NFL was never the problem because that man always wanted to go back to the NFL. But everybody mad at the NFL and what people doing with the NFL.
Right.
That man ain't need. Yeah. That man took a knee. Ain't had shit to do with the NFL. You feel me?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what people. Yeah, I mean that's the other point people are missing. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, how many on TV all day? That's on social media all day. You feel me? Like you said, how many people mention Eric Gardner?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's true. That's true too.
If anything, I'm focused on social media today is by Donald Trump trying to inadvertently deport Melania. I told you we got to protect our foreign first lady because he trying to deport her on the low.
Oh, I thought I did speak a bit about that. That's good.
I missed that headline.
Oh no, it was on Trevor Noah. He was saying how all the different immigration laws kind of relate to his wife about trying to it could bring in family members. Her family members just came. He's trying to deport them too. They're trying to get citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
How people come here on illegal visas, and then it's not the proper visa for them. And then they talked about how she came in on the Einstein visa. That means she was a very smart person that had an ideal or invention or a very smart person that had like the ideal for the universe or whatever that was just unique to her. And we know that that's not the only thing she came up with is be best. So that's not really an Einstein worthy visa requirement. So they just saying that he's trying to let her go on like he's trying to divorce on the low by getting her deported first. So I don't know. But it was a joke, so I thought it was funny.
Shoot.
Other than it's real shit going on. You got a fucking shootout and
the funniest joke.
No, it did. I was laughing because it was funny, but it was true. But then you got like real shit happening. All these mass shootings. You got a guy that was held up in the house in Philadelphia shooting at the cops. Like, it's real shit happening in the world. And we focus on, we get a laugh out of this situation about Melania, but it's real shit happening in the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Happen every day. It never stop happening. You feel me? It's just people choose not to pay attention. We all do it.
Yeah.
You feel me? We all do it.
I get it. Sometimes you don't want to tell them the news. Huh?
I said it's like a coping mechanism. You feel me?
Yeah, because we hear bad news every day, but damn.
And then sometimes people want to take the easy way out. We all tend to take the easy way out. That's our nature. That's human nature. So the reason why, and I want to go back to this. The reason why people rather want to boycott the NFL because that's an easier target than, like you said, Eric Garner's daughter out there every day in front of the police station. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But how many people really out there with her? You feel me? Because that's a harder fight.
Yeah.
'Cause that's right there in the Lions Den.
Mhm.
You feel me? That's right at the door. That's right at the Lions Den door.
Right.
But like you said, they're going to let her be all you do is out there, you just want to protest? All right, we're going to leave. But what if some action start taking place?
They're going to shut that shit down.
It's a whole different story. Exactly. But that's the harder fight. That's the real fight. People, you know what I mean? Most of us, we don't want to do that fight. We don't want to, you know what I mean? We don't want to stand out there.
Yeah.
Feel me? Like you said, whether we rather sit on, feel me, rather sit on all these social media sites, do some retweets, repost some memes, you know what I mean? Because a few people out online real quick, you know what I mean? I feel like we did our duty for the day.
Yep.
Yeah.